Hola amigos de JM Pro TV, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos otra vez a nuestra sección de entrevistas y hoy nos acompaña nuestra querida amiga Kim Roney. Hola Kim, ¿cómo estás?
Hola Julio, estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. Hablaremos acerca de la lucha por los $15 del salario mínimo. Y Kim, cuéntanos cómo desde tu perspectiva está la lucha por los $15 en nuestro estado y en nuestra ciudad.
So, what we have to start with is that in the state of North Carolina, which is a right-to-work state, no city can require a living wage. So right now, what is considered a living wage, or really a more just minimum wage, because it's not really enough to afford all the things that we need, is the fight for 15. Here in Buncombe County, we need more, closer to $17 an hour, but this is considered a more just minimum. The minimum wage hasn't increased federally in 11 years, but the cost of living has gone up, as we all know. So what do we need to do? First, the city, Asheville, and the county, Buncombe County, have their own living wage policy, and they can do that internally, but not with anyone that they contract with, and they can't force any other employers to do it. So we have that good example set with the city and the county. What we can do next is work with cities across the state of North Carolina to push for state legislation so that we can increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Once again, that's just a more just appropriate minimum wage to start out with, because we haven't been increasing the minimum wage as we went along the past 11 years. Part of that work is that Jessica Holmes is running for the North Carolina Commissioner of Labor. She is committed to livable wages. So we are going to need to push her. She is the one of the two opponents that has a stronger platform for livable wages. We're going to need to push her for a living wage of $15 an hour, because that would be the position that would be overseeing workers' rights and pay equity.
En esta parte nos gustaría explicarle a la comunidad por qué Carolina del Norte es un estado que se denomina right to work o con derecho a trabajar.
So this is interesting. I think we need to think about it more as right to not work. What it does is it puts more protections for employers who can fire their employees for any reason. Because we don't have workers' protections in North Carolina, the employer has more power than the employee. So if employees stand up for fair wages or better working conditions, they can be fired just for that.
So, la organización Just Economics ha puesto un manifiesto que son $15.50 por hora como una cantidad de salario mínimo. Pero sin embargo no vemos así en la ciudad. Los cambios que se tienen que hacer son urgentes, y mi pregunta sería cómo desde los puestos en el gobierno, como en el caso del Consejo de la Ciudad de Asheville, donde tú estás lanzándote, se pueden empujar todos estos cambios. ¿Qué?
So I'm running for Asheville City Council, and I'm committed to working on affordability for the people of Asheville and building coalition in the county, Western North Carolina, and across the state. We're not the only city that has these needs for our workers, so we need leadership at city council level with the county commission to work across the state for all the states to be able to stand up and say that we need more worker protections and we need a more just minimum wage. One of the things that the city council can do is ensure that we're keeping our own living wage policy. The city of Asheville has a living wage policy and is committed to meeting those wages as outlined by Just Economics, which I serve on the policy advocacy committee for as a volunteer. But they're in violation of the living wage policy at the city level because we still have 77 firefighters whose wages come out to less than $12 an hour. So we're leaving behind our firefighters simply because they have a different pay structure where they'll work 24-hour shifts in a row, so multiple days in a row, and then have multiple days off. And if we were to just move them to a standard 40-hour work week where they work 5 days and have evening hours or morning hours off, we would have more complications with not only filling the roles during difficult to fill overnight shifts, but also we couldn't afford it because it would be much more expensive than what we're doing now. So we need to make sure that we're meeting our firefighters' needs, so that we're meeting all of our employees' needs, so we're setting an example in the city and throughout the region and across the state for a living wage.
Es muy interesante, y nuestra solidaridad con los bomberos y también con las enfermeras del Mission Hospital que están luchando por la sindicalización. Bueno, Kim, muchísimas gracias por la entrevista. ¿Y dónde pueden nuestra comunidad conocer más acerca de tu campaña?
Sure. On kimroney4asheville.com, you'll find more information about the campaign for City Council, the elections coming up on November 3rd, and you'll find more information about what climate justice means, why we need to secure our neighborhoods, work on housing, transportation, childcare, and securing our food and water systems so that we can heal the people and the planet.
Bueno, fue Kim Roney, candidata al Consejo de la Ciudad de Asheville en estas próximas elecciones. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.